Welcome back to Legacy of Dorn, Herald of Oblivion. The last time I played, I was left on board the Space Hulk Herald of Oblivion in search for my lost battle brothers and tasked with cleansing the Genestealer infestation on this Space Hulk. I had just received a pip on my auspex indicating that Brother Ordis was a few hundred meters away from me, and I was given the choice to either carry out a more comprehensive scan or follow the signal I have picked up already without further delay. If you notice any inconsistencies in the wound points I have sustained since last time, this is because I had to start all over. I had already advanced quite a ways into this story without actually bothering to activate voice recording, so I had to redo everything from scratch, and now I'm back at the same position as I was last time. I have decided to follow the signal I have already picked up to Brother Ordis, and without further delay I'm going to seek him out. The route you take to find the apothecary leads you across the cavernous heart of the trapped asteroid to a point where the blunt nose of another vessel has burst through the silicate rock wall. The impact must have occurred hundreds if not thousands of years ago and resulted in the hull of the craft being breached as well. Entering this vessel you hone in on the signal from your auspex, following the hot display on the marker tag. And it is then as your illuminator beam falls on the solid adamantium bulkhead ahead of you that you see Brother Ordis for the first time. "Brother, thank the Primarch, you found me in time," he gasps. He is clearly in a great deal of pain, but then that's hardly surprising, seeing as how he appears to have been teleported into the very fabric of the bulkhead itself and become fused half in and half out of the structure. Carefully you break the seal on his helmet and remove it. Ordis's expression is one of barely suppressed agony. "Brother," you begin, not really knowing what to say. "There is nothing you can do for me," Ordis says, as if reading your mind. "I am dying. But first I must pass my sacred duty on to you, in case you find any more of our brethren in a similar situation to mine." Clearly the Dark Elder attack on the Shield of Dorn at such a vital moment in the Portalitarium sequence resulted in catastrophic failure. You wonder how many more are like Brother Ordis or lost forever, their component atoms scattered within the freezing depths of the void. "Take my narthecium," the apothecary says, indicating the archaic instrument attached to his arm that is mercifully free of the bulkhead with a downward glance. At Ordis's behest you release the mag locks securing the narthecium in place and attach it to your own arm. There are unguents and medicamentum equivalent to 5 medikits worth. Each time you use a medikit, you restore your wound score to its starting total. As you do this, Ordis intones the apothecary's creed between agonized gasps. It is the sacred oath sworn by all those who submit themselves for training by the apothecarion. "He that may fight, heal him. He that may fight no more, give him peace. He that is dead, take from him the chapter's due. While his gene seed returns to the chapter, a space marine cannot die." He breaks off, choking on his own blood as his body shuts down. "Without death, pain loses its relevance." Ordis then proceeds to tell you the clandestine code that activates the reductor built into the narthecium so that you may remove his own progenoid glands that he might yet serve the chapter still. Brother Apothecary Ordis has passed his sacred duty on to you that you might tend to the injured and recover the gene seed of the dead as you continue your search for the rest of Squad Scipio. "Now, brother," he says with his dying breath, "do what must be done." With that his chin drops onto his chest and he says nothing more. Enter the clandestine code. Entering the code, you successfully activate the reductor. Without a moment's hesitation, you plunge its whirring drill into Ordis's neck. Feeling the clamp teeth bite down on the tough organ, you pull it free. Fortunately, you are also able to remove the second progenoid located within the apothecary's chest. You gain 2 purity. Secure both glands in one of the sanctified stasis chambers inside the narthecium. There is nothing more you can do for Brother Ordis, and so are forced to leave his body locked within the very fabric of the bulkhead. However, you are able to retrieve 3 clips of bolter rounds that are in the apothecary's possession. Each clip has 20 shots. However, as you progress further through the bulk cargo hauler, following the only viable path open to you, your helm auspex begins to bleep and chirp with activity. Overlaying the information it is picking up on your helmet's HUD, a wireframe 3D scan of the Hulk appears first. On top of this then appears the target markers indicating your battle brother's life signs. A feeling of relief washes through you as you see that the rest of the boarding party are all still alive, although they appear to have somehow been scattered throughout the hulk. All except for one. Your Auspex has failed to pick up Sergeant Valerius' signal. Based on the primary scan downloaded into your Auspex while you were still on board the Shield of Dorn, and from the information your Auspex has picked up since, including the locator signals relayed from your Battle Brothers suits, you know which direction you need to travel in to track each of them down. However, you have no idea what sort of environment you will find there, or what secrets those areas of the Herald of Oblivion are hiding. So, which of your fellow Imperial Fists do you want to try to track down first? Search for Brother Cale? Hunt down Epistolary Radimus, or attempt to join up with Brother Barathon? I think I'm going to search for Cale first. Because of his lightning claws, they might come in useful in a Genestealer-infested environment. Following Brother Cale's signal, you penetrate far into the derelict. You traverse broken, twisted corridors of sheet metal, and pass through fissures formed within accumulated space rock. Sometimes your way is lit by still flickering glow globes, but most of the time you find yourself cloaked in shadows and darkness, forcing you to rely on your own enhanced senses, the auto senses of your Terminator armor and your searchlight, to help you navigate a path through the vast hulk. Slowly, the nondescript corridors, walkways, and rifts give way to some rust-red walls, corridors wide enough to drive a Rhino APC through, and familiar blocky metallic structures. The repeated bas-relief images of cybernetic skulls removes any doubt in your mind as to where you are now, if there had ever been any. You have entered the wreck of a warp-lost vessel of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Acres of grilled decking spreads out before you into a ruddy gloom permeated by the occasional flickering lumen strip or glow globe, the disturbing dust of ages drifting in their ambient auras. Based on the signal your Auspex is receiving from Brother Cale's battlesuit, he is somewhere within the ancient Ark. But as you progress further into Mechanicus' ship, it soon becomes clear that something is wrong, other than the fact that the Ark is now part of a drifting space hulk. There are things growing on the mounds of sludge dripping from various effluent discharges in the walls. The growths look like large fungi, their pointed caps the color of stained copper. Memories implanted inside your head during one of the phases of your initiation into the Imperial Fists chapter means that you recognize the toadstools for what they are. The fungi are orcoid in origin, part of the savage alien race's reproductive cycle. If allowed to grow to maturity, in time they will produce more of the savage greenskins, or one of the lesser orcoid species, but that will still be troublesome to the Imperium. The only way to eradicate them effectively is to burn them. A heavy flamer would have come in useful. Brother Barathon was carrying one when you teleported, not that that information is of any use to you right now. I have nothing to burn the fungi enough to eradicate them entirely. You make good progress into the Ark, heading in a southerly direction, keeping one eye on your Auspex and Brother Cale's signal at all times. Eventually you reach a solid wall of reinforced adamantium. At the same time you lose Cale's signal. You wonder if he is still alive or whether something about the makeup of this part of the vessel is blocking your signal. Either way, you had been heading directly towards the beacon of Brother Cale's signal, but the structure of the ship is now forcing you to take a turning to the east or another to the west. Which is it to be? Since both directions give no indication of what awaits us there, I'm just going to head for the first one listed, which is west. You continue to advance further into the Mechanicus Ark, aware that with every minute that passes you are moving further away from Brother Cale's last recorded position. You pass through one great vaulted gallery after another at last, until at last you run into the orcs who have taken over this vessel. At first it is a tremor in the deck plates at your feet. Then it is a distant roar like a battle barge laser lance battery charging, ready to fire. And then finally the acrid stink of hydrocarbon waste gases assails your heightened olfactory senses. Reaching a grilled hatch cover, you peer through it at the chaos and commotion consuming the colossal cathedral-like hangar below. The air is thick with fumes and the roar of primitive combustion engines. As far as you can tell, going by the crude glyphs daubed onto the vehicles and some of the orcs themselves, two rival mobs of greenskins are tearing around the ruined vault in their customized trucks and war bikes that they must have constructed from whatever bits and pieces they could plunder from the Mechanicus vessel. The orcs have created a crude arena in which to raise their noxious machines, and you can see a stack of promethium barrels collected together to form a fuel dump at its center. Such profane desecration of this ancient Omnissiah blessed vessel makes your very blood seethe with barely contained rage. You cannot simply stand by and watch as the Xenos continue to desecrate the Ark with their sheer presence. They must be eradicated. Those were your orders, and it will be your pleasure, not just your duty, to fulfill them. Tearing the grill from the bolts holding it in place, you use the projecting cyberskull and cock gargoyles adorning the walls of the vaulted chamber to descend to the floor of the desecrated Manufactorum Cathedral without being spotted by the orcs, who are far too busy driving their customized vehicles around their track at dangerously high speeds. But how will you go about eliminating the greenskin menace? Issue the greenskins with a formal challenge. Try to take out the fuel dump to get their attention, or target one of the mobs. Greenskins are not known to be creatures of great honor, so a formal challenge, I believe, will only get me killed all the quicker. The fuel dump might be the way to go if I can catch a couple of them in the explosion, and targeting one of the mobs seems like pretty much the first one, except without the talking, so I'm going to go with the fuel dump. The crosshairs reticle of your HUD locking onto the fuel dump and bringing it into super close magnification, you take aim. Use my Stormbolter. With a cataclysmic boom, the Promethium tanks detonate, disintegrating as they are consumed by the expanding ball of greasy orange flame that is now rising from the center of the Orc's ramshackle racetrack. Watch them burn. The shockwave from the blast hurls debris, vehicles, and Orcs in all directions. You have their attention now. You look to the right. You direct your weapon at the more Orc vehicles splashed with red war paint. Use my Stormbolter. Raking the buggies with weapons fire, you watch with satisfaction as dozens of Orcs die under your onslaught, their vehicles breaking up and exploding around them. Before you can gun down any more of the bikers, ignoring their rivals, the speed freaks gun their throttles and power their vehicles towards you. Also ignoring their rivals, the blue-painted Orcs steer their own trucks towards you. This may be too much attention for even you to deal with. Faced by the rapidly approaching Orc horde, you have three options. Right at the front of the pack there is a customized Orc truck to your left and a warbike to your right. Both are carrying far too many hangers on to be safe. You could either try to take one of these two vehicles out before they reach you, or you could try getting out of the way of the convoy altogether. I'm going to try to take down the truck. You train your weapon on the hurtling truck. Use my Stormbolter. Amazingly, the truck withstands your attack, but its driver doesn't, and as the Orc dies, it pulls down hard on the vehicle's primitive steering controls, sending the 4x4 slewing sharply left and straight into the warbike. The collision sends the Orcs aboard the warbike flying through the air as the rest of the convoy piles into the back of the two colliding vehicles, the other drivers unable to stop themselves in time. Bikes, trucks, and war tracks are all consumed by a rapidly expanding ball of greasy orange flame and promethium black smoke as weapon magazines and petrochemical fuel tanks combust in one almighty explosion. Watch them all burn. With a throaty engine roar like the guttural bellow of an enraged squiggoth, a huge steel and ceramite gun beast emerges from amidst the roiling flames. It is bedecked with several large-bore cannons, while a mob of whooping greenskins hang from its running bars. Some of the smaller specimens are even straddling the sponson gun positions. Its black metal prow is scratched, scorched, and dented by a myriad bullet holes, rocket impacts, and damage from head-on collisions with other Orcish machines. And it is heading straight for you on clanking treads, its driver clearly intent on grinding you to a pulp beneath its 4-axle-mounted death roller. Against such a powerful machine, will you stand your ground and rain weapons fire down upon the clanking war beast with everything you have, or will you run for cover? I can stand and face the monstrous machine or turn and run before the clanking battle wagons charge, and I'm going to stand and face the monstrous machine because last time when I decided that being careful was the better part of valor, I was punished for it by losing purity, so now I'm just going to stand my ground like a Space Marine in battle armor should. Even as you attempt to open fire on the armor-plated battle wagon, the combat cant of your brotherhood on your lips, the mobile fortress crashes into you. Your heavily armored body is sent flying by the jarring collision, and you are unconscious even before you hit the ground. I am still alive. You are lying on your back in the desert, your battle with the core clansmen over. You have won, but you are dying nonetheless, you can feel it. And then, there above you in the bleached white sky, you see a golden angel descending on wings of fire towards the honor arena. Only they aren't wings of fire, and the radiant being isn't an angel. You see it now for what it really is, an Imperial Fist Space Marine coming to ground, its jetpack slowing its descent. Only it isn't the roar of the Battle Brothers jetpack you can hear, it is the shrill whine of a circular saw, and then a sympathetic vibration starts up in your armored suit, and your body bound within it begins to shudder in sympathy. Opening your eyes, the patches of grey supernovae resolving into shapes before you, you sit up. In response to this simple action, you hear what sounds like a guttural bark of surprise. You're in a dimly lit chamber that feels almost claustrophobic after the last chamber you were in. Standing in front of you, the running power saw still clutched in one meaty paw, is a large orc with what looks like a pack of heavy tools strapped to its back. It grunts as it regards you with one beady eye and one eye that is an oversized red-lensed augmatic. Behind the greenskin you see several smaller specimens run for the cover of the shadows at the corner of the chamber. It would appear that the orc engineer was attempting to cut you out of your Terminator armor when you came round, just in time. With another grunt, the mechaniac drops the cutting tool, picks up a power drill, and comes at you. Alright, first one misses. Let's go for another shot. That didn't do too much. Okay, focus and fire. I have yet to learn how to use the Narthesium's medkit ability, so I really hope that I'm going to win this one. He has 6 wounds left. And he only glances. As do I. Right. Let's go for the Power Fist instead. Wonderful, that critted. Ah. Yes. Okay, can we get another one? We do. The orc mechaniac is down. The fight is over. The mechaniac falls to the ground dead, its scratching crew running from the room jabbering in fear. The chamber is full of all manner of metal detritus, everything from salvaged tooth gears to what appears to be the cores of cogitator relays. In front of you stands the open archway through which the Gretchen fled. There are no other obvious ways in or out of this room. Take a few moments to make a thorough search of the chamber, or leave in pursuit of the Gretchen. I'm going to take a few moments, see if maybe I can salvage something from here. Saxon Herald, find the master-crafted Stormbolter. To begin with, every piece of junk you uncover in the MacBoy's workshop is just that. Junk. That is until you find the Stormbolter, an ancient relic of your own chapter. The finely etched decoration on the weapon is wondrous to behold, the work of a master artificer, and praise the Emperor, as far as you can tell it is still in working order. But your heart sinks when you read the name inscribed upon the bolter's barrel. Kale. For Brother Kale to have become separated from his holy Stormbolter, and for it to end up here, his situation must be dire indeed. It is your duty to recover this ancient relic, and you sincerely hope that you will be able to return it to Brother Kale himself before too long. It is time you were about your original mission again. I need to find Brother Kale. Outside the mechaniac's workshop come loot cache, you find yourself in a passageway that is all exposed cabling and air circulation systems. This in turn leads you into another more brightly lit chamber. But the sight that greets your eyes has you cursing the Xenos for an eternal torment in the warp. Lying on a slab of cold steel is Brother Kale's corpse. Stripped of his armor, it is quite clear that he is dead, the orc surgeon standing over him having already amputated all of his limbs. The pain boy is now in the process of removing Kale's black carapace from the flesh of his torso. Uncontrollable rage, as hot as the agony of the pain glove, consumes you. Focusing your anger and pain into a potent war cry, you launch yourself at the orc. I'm going to go for close combat for this one. He deserves nothing less. Okay, so this bar, which I have forgotten what that is now full. Oh, wow, wonderful. 100% chance to deal 6 wound. For Dorn! That is a mighty ability indeed. I wish you could use it whenever you wish to. Because that guy only had 1 wound left anyway. Adamantium, find the lightning claw. The pain boy dead, you turn your attention to the violated cadaver of your battle brother. No Imperial fist should be forced to endure such an ignoble end as this. Brother Cale's armor lies abandoned in one corner of the room, discarded like so much trash, along with one of his mighty lightning claws. You have no idea where the second one is. The close combat weapon is a truly magnificent armament, each of its long finger blades painstakingly etched with scenes of the Imperial Fist's defense of the palace of the Emperor on Terra. Do you pick up Brother Cale's lightning claw? Yes. Yes, I am. Use the lightning claw. There is one more thing you might yet be able to do for Cale, and that is recover his gene seed. But did Ordis show you how to use his redactor before he died? Use the clandestine code to reactivate the reactor. You enter the code and successfully activate the reductor. Since Brother Cale has already been stripped of his armor, it is a straightforward matter to extract his progenoid glands, storing the 2 gristly lumps in their own stasis chamber inside Brother Ordis' nothesium. You gain 2 purity. Purge the Mechanicus Arc of its Xenos infestation. There is nothing more you can do for Brother Cale now. The loss of his suit of tactical dreadnought armor is one that you and your battle brothers will have to avenge at a later date. What matters now is that you purge the Mechanicus Arc of its Xenos infestation, and then do all that you can to regroup with the rest of Squad Scipio. Your weapons primed, ready to bring the Emperor's wrath down upon the heads of the Greenskins, you exit the Pain Boy's laboratory cum abattoir, sending a swarm of small gribbly things scurrying and hopping before you. Turning a corner, you suddenly find yourself on a protruding platform that looks out over the vast vault beyond, and the sight that greets your eyes has you staring in appalled horror at the totem titan being constructed within the great hangar space. The hangar is alive with activity, and it is all focused around the vast alien idol that has been constructed on the far side. To say that it is akin to one of the Cyclopean fighting machines of the Legiones Titanicus would be blasphemously disrespectful to the ancient god machines of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Stomper, as the orcs refer to these monstrous devices, bristles with a host of primitive yet lethally effective weaponry. The interlocking plates of its cobbled-together hull have been daubed with brutish symbols and adorned with ugly totemic devices. A host of orcs teem at his feet, while dozens of Gretchens scurry over every part of it. The mini-gargant is a likeness of one of the orcs' savage deities, and to think that it has been constructed from the cannibalized wreck of a noble ark of the Adeptus Mechanicus, as you swearing an oath of moment that, even if it is the last service you perform in the name of the Emperor, you will destroy it. Descending from the platform via a service ramp, you charge into battle, targeting the nearest of the Greenskins. Still not as near as I would like, but I'm going to focus because it reduces their chance to wound me. Alright, both of them have closed into close combat range. That is nice. And let's see what these lightning claws of Brother Cale's can do for me here. Okay, that wasn't a bad first attack. Okay. Let's see. If I play my cards right, if the dice roll well, I should be able to take this guy down now. One more, come on. Ah. But now you die. There we are. The fight is over. Victory. A squad of Imperial Fists Terminators may be more than a match for a fully armed Orc battle fortress or even a feral Chaos Warhound Titan, but there is only one way you can bring down this Stomper alone. If you could have found some backup earlier, your job would have certainly been a lot easier. Orc war machines are notorious for their unsafe construction and the implementation of unstable energy sources by their mech boys. If you could get on board and overload the Stomper's power plant, that would surely initiate a catastrophic chain reaction that would result in the mini-gargant being blown to smithereens. Find a way inside to bring it down alone. Only one question remains. How do you plan to get on board the Stomper while the massed ranks of the Orc host stand between it and you? Try to create a distraction of some kind, or try the more direct approach and charge the Orcs? I'm going to charge the Orcs. I'm going to assault a Stomper. I can take down a couple of Orcs. For the Primarch, and to the glory of him on earth, you scream at the top of your voice as you charge the Greenskins. The Xenos turn and make barking sounds which could pass for laughter, meet you in battle. Oh wow, that is a lot of orcs. Okay, let's start from the right. That wasn't a great first round. Okay, one wound from all of that. I'm okay with all of this. Alright. Still, I'm not doing as much damage as I would like myself. Every one of these guys, except the one I've been shooting at, has 9 health points. That means they have more health than me in total. And I couldn't hit them if I tried. 2 damage done. 4 damage done. 4 damage, that was a painful round. Okay, let's try this again. Very good, okay, one of them down. Let's see. Yeah... No, I can't attack, he's too far away, okay. Let's fire my bolter again. Wonderful, crit. Okay. Just keep advancing, come closer, get into lightning claw range. And don't shoot me, just get into range. Right. Hi boy. It might be time to find out how to heal myself sooner or later. Just die already. Okay, there we are. Now they're in lightning claw range. No, they're not. Why are they not? Oh yes, they are. Ha! Okay, let's go deal with the first orc boy first. Alright, next one is going to deal 9 wounds, and there's a 100% chance of doing so. So I'm going to go for somebody who's already, who's still unharmed. Like this guy, yes. For Dorn, indeed. Okay, I have 2 actions left. Let's go back to the one that is already wounded, focus up, and... glance. Wonderful. Just as planned. Okay. Somebody always hits. Okay. Only 2 of them left. I can deal with 2, of course. Certainly I can deal with 2. I'm an Imperial Fist wearing tactical dreadnought armor. I'm not going to die to 2 orcs. Correction, I'm not going to die to 1 orc. Alright. This should be the last round. The fight is over. Victory. Get into the Stomper. Get inside an Orc Stomper. Smashing aside fleeing Gretchen, you mount the mini-Gargon's rear boarding ramp and enter the oily, stinking, smoky, and most of all noisy interior of the Stomper. Bolted together sections of huge pipes that were probably once part of the Ark's ventilation system lead both up and down through the ramshackle structure of the mechanized alien idol. But where is the war machine's power plant located? Head down into the belly of the beast, or head higher into the structure? Power plants are big and heavy, and both are things that lend themselves more to construction in a lower section. Then again, orcs are not known for being very logical. Into the belly of the beast. The deeper you go, the hotter and more oppressive the atmosphere within the mini-Gargant becomes. And then you are there in the guts of the machine in what passes for a generatorium within the Orc God engine, with the crude riveted iron sphere of its power core in front of you. But before you're going to be able to put the Stomper out of action by overloading its power plant, you're going to have to get past the Orc Mechaniac and the gang of Gretchen that is struggling to keep the Stomper system operational. There is a high chance you could use the Gretchens to flee should you take down the Mechaniac first. Right, let's see if I can use my inventory to... No, that's not the way to heal myself. What are these? Save data files? No, I don't want that. And what are you? Your position has been saved. Alright. Fight! Okay, so it tells me to take down the Mechaniac first. Going to use my bolter because he's far away, and that could have gone better. At least I only take 1 damage on a crit from one of those Gretchens, so I might actually stand a chance here. Please remember which one I was shooting at. Don't just switch me back. Yes, come and advance. That's wonderful, because when you advance you don't shoot. Alright, let's try the Mechaniac again. 2 more wounds. He is down in a moment. But I'm down to 10 wounds. Okay, still at 10. He's at 2 wounds. I'm not going to bother with focusing. I'm just going to shoot him 3 times and see what happens. And he's out. Okay. Gretchen, it's your turn to flee from me. Would anybody like to flee? One of you? The fight is over. Victory. Breathing hard after your battle with the Greenskins, you take a moment to study the crude controls for the Stompers' power plant. They make little sense to you, and not being party to the secrets of the cult Mechanicus, you're forced to come up with your own solution to the problem of how to overload the Mini-Gargan's energy core. Grabbing hold of anything you can get your power fist augmented hands on, you tear the reactor core open. At your brutal attack, the lightning in the belly chamber becomes suffused with a ruddy glow, and somewhere a klaxon begins to sound. As smoke and steam burst from rattling ruptured pipework, you realize that you have succeeded in what you set out to do. The entire structure of the Stomper is shuddering, even breaking apart in places as you make your escape. You barge past startled Orcs and Gretchen as they stare at the quaking Stomper in bewilderment. Okay. Fate determined. Flee the Stomper. Pounding down the access ramp and out of the Stomper, you run slap-bang into a hulking brute of an Orc. Howling its fury at you, the beast comes at you with a massive chain-toothed axe in its hand. Warning: Orc Art Boy must be defeated in 3 rounds. This is a point where I'm going to save. Let's see. Alright, your position has been saved, very good. And I'm going to end this episode here. And I'm just going to find out how to actually use the medkit for the next time. See you around.